Mr. Mitt Romney, of all people,
Oh, for the love
wants
of God.
you
This
to
is one of the
know
things.
he is really not liking Donald Trump and Vivek Ramaswamy. So he wants you to know that he likes the Democrat because of all the people that should be supporting the Democratic Party. It is the person who is the embodiment of the vulture capitalist class that have destroyed our society. So here we go.
Who do you like in the Republican field?
Anybody. I'd be happy to support virtually any one of the Republicans. Maybe not Vivek, but the others that are running would be acceptable to me, and I'd be happy to vote for them. I'd be happy to vote for a number of the Democrats too. I mean, it would be an upgrade from, in my opinion, from Donald Trump and perhaps also from Joe Biden. Look, I like President Biden. I find him a very charming, engaging person. There's some places I agree with him, but most places I disagree with him. I think he's made all sorts of terrible mistakes, but I would like to see someone else run.
All right. So fortunately for me, guess what? Because of our stuff and it was slow, it was frozen for me. So I didn't get to see it. So I don't really care. But what I do want, you could talk about it in a second. Donald James, we do normally do the show here. Peter's normally here, but he is in New Jersey. He'll be back the next show we do.
Yes, I will. Guys, if you are not currently subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you click the bell so you get reminders of when we go live. And if you are so inclined, do make sure that you go over to patreon.com/generational change for as little as $5 a month. You can become a supporter of our small but mighty channel that gets guests like Dr. Cornel West and Nina Turner. And you will get the Lulu sticker. Lulu is Jen's adorable Caton munchkin dog. She is not in studio at the moment, but she makes an appearance every once in a while. If you are a $10 a month Patreon, we will figure out how to better compensate than just a little sticker.
You'll get my undying affection and love. And I've said it, guys, if you have any interest in communicating with me, like I've said it before, I am not on social media. So I'm not saying what you guys say. The only way you get to communicate with me is through Patreon.
Well, that's also true, but we also have Cash App. So if you are so inclined and don't want to put your information on the grid, you can go to Cash App, $Gen Change, and any amount that you can contribute to help grow our channel is tremendously appreciated. For those who do donate $25 or more, you will get yourself the Generational Change jersey. Of course, Jen and I are both wearing
or the purple. You can have either.
You can pick. And then, of course, if you would, there's the website to go to, patreon.com/generational.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And thank you to new members who joined Donald James. That's very cool. I haven't been able to follow everybody, but we are back to being monetized, which is
for
nice.
however long.
For however long we can, which is nice. It helps, like it was definitely an interesting couple of months there.
Yes, it is. And we definitely, as Jen has said many a times before, she definitely has her suspicions as to why we were demonetized.
And that's what keeps me from thinking I don't see how it won't happen again.
And it is certainly likely that it will happen again. But listen, it was, to just recap, it was a phenomenal interview with Dr. West. We'll produce We'll have at least 3 clips from this interview. He calls out RFK in a very professional and polite way, but in a way that was necessary, particularly about Israel-Palestine. He likes RFK and says you fail on this issue and there is no it's unacceptable. He also acknowledges the fact that the way people call out Donald Trump is completely backwards. If you want to call out Trump for his policies, that's fine. But you call out people who vote for him, people for the most part that are the downtrodden in this society in one way or another, not right. And then, of course, he did get into what the vision of his presidency would be all about. And I thought he was very on point and very sharp. And so,
guys, and I highly recommend, and if you do read Race Matters, if you do it as Audible, Dr. West does his own Audible, which for me is amazing. Like you're literally getting like a sermon, it sounds like, it's great. It's really, it's a good book. But anyway. Highly recommend.
Point of the interview with Mitt Romney. And keep in mind, guys, Mitt Romney is on his way out from the U.S. Senate. And yet, for some reason, this guy who ran Bain Capital, for those of you who want to know what the real life Gordon Gekko from Wall Street is in congressional form, it is Mitt Romney.
Yeah, he's just a plutocrat, and he's an old school, hang out at the club plutocrat, and he does not like the crassness of somebody like a Donald Trump at his country club. And that's really all it is for someone like him. He doesn't have principles. He doesn't have like anything. He doesn't stand for anything. It's not like, oh, Trump's policies are bad. He doesn't give a shit.
Not at all. When you look at Norah O'Donnell, who I used to like, but obviously her career ascended to such a level, and the way that she looks, the way that she smiles, like, oh, isn't Joe Biden such a good man? Isn't he so polite? Isn't he?
I didn't hear it because it was frozen for me.
And on top of everything else, you have you have Romney saying, I would support anybody but Donald Trump or Vivek Ramaswamy, who are the two most popular candidates running in the GOP right now. So he's perfectly okay with, let's bomb every single country times 10. Like, you thought Hillary Clinton was a warmonger? Nikki Haley wants you to know that she'll warmonger Hillary Clinton into the Stone Age.
They're sitting there and sweet talking Genocide Joe. Yeah. So you when you're sitting there and saying you'd vote for Genocide Joe over anybody, really, that's telling. It's very telling.
Beyond telling. And if that's not enough, you're in a situation where, whether it is Ron DeSantis, and look, there's no expectations as to what's going to happen on Thursday night. Apparently, Governor DeSantis and Governor Newsom are going to go forward with this debate. Who the hell knows what it's going to be about, if it's going to have any value. Jen and I are still of the belief that Governor Newsom is the backup plan, whether it is at the Democratic convention or even earlier potentially. But he is the person that, if you're looking for a scenario where Biden is not the Democratic Party nominee running next November, Gavin Newsom is the most likely person who will replace him on the ticket. And so that's why he's out there debating Governor DeSantis right now. And we'll see what ultimately comes of it. But
every time DeSantis is in the public eye, he just looks so horrible. Like his persona, the way he's so stiff, his smile is forced. Like there is nothing likable there, And so I think the more that he's out there, his numbers are just going to only go down.
Jamie, here's what I would tell you about Vivek Ramaswamy. If you took Trump out of the equation and said, here is the list of candidates running in the GOP for the nomination, I am confident in saying that right now, Vivek would get the plurality vote from the list of candidates that are running. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but Vivek is clearly running the Trump lane and is trying to be a part of the Trump administration. That's the most likely scenario from anyone who recognizes that Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee for president of the United States, whether as a free man or as an incarcerated man. Either way, that's what's going to happen. And so I look at these plutocrats, as you've said. You look at the way that they put themselves out there to suggest that everything's fine. To think that the world is literally on fire right now in more ways than one. And they're sitting there conducting an interview as if to suggest, well, decorum is the most important thing in the world right now. So we must have again. But
everybody, have you not noticed that all of these, and I could even tie this into that ridiculous garbage that Debbie put out the other day with her head up Biden's butt. It's just all you're going to be seeing now on mainstream media, regardless of whether it's with an interview from Mitt Romney or a tweet from her, whatever it is they're going to be promoting, is all going to be people talking up Joe. So that's all that they can do, is to try to keep some semblance of a campaign for him. Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.